When I was 7 years old, my parents and I moved into a new house, new neighborhood, everything was new. And I was really trying to make friends. So one day, I invited all the neighborhood kids over to my house, and we were hanging out in my room. And without thinking of it, I just gave away all of my baseball cards that I'd been collecting for years. I just wanted friends so badly, and I was willing to do whatever it took, that I just gave away this precious thing that I had to make that happen. Looking back, holy cow, why did I do that? Would they not have been my friends if I hadn't done that? Of course they'd have been my friends. Would we not have gotten along if I hadn't given away this thing unnecessarily? Of course so. I just wouldn't have had this immediate regret, the sense of, oh my God, I just gave that away. And the reason I bring this story up is I think we've all been there. You know, we've all had that moment where we've tried to negotiate something and we've just gotten taken. We just think back, oh my God. You know, I don't know if you've ever had this. I've had the situation where I've negotiated a car badly. And then I'll do this thing where I'll go onto the websites and do my research, and I'll just precisely figure out how much I got screwed by. I don't know why I wouldn't do that before. And I really hate to see amazingly talented people undervalue themselves when it comes to negotiating salary. Because believe me, that's what's happening. If you lose out on a relatively small percentage, say you lose out on 10 grand, okay? Every year, because it's a salary, it's not a purchase, it just stacks 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I mean, that's a huge chunk of money, you know? More than the money part is the regret part. Going through a search, networking, doing all that stuff, it takes effort, it takes guts, it takes moving out of your comfort zone and saying, yes, I want something better. So don't mess it up right at the end, right? Don't do that. So this video is really practical. It is going to dive into 3 situations I see pop up all the time during salary negotiations. 3 situations where people can really drop the ball, and how to fix that. What my recommendation would be as an approach to address that, to maximize the chances that it's going to be a good outcome for you. Before we do that though, I just really have to say this, okay? Please, if you take nothing away from this video except this one thing, please know this. You will not lose the offer by turning down the first one. You will not. It will never happen. It doesn't matter how close to the bone they are, how this is the standard salary. You will not lose it. In fact, there's not an employer in the world that is expecting you to take offer number 1. They have padding built in just for negotiation. So you are literally just taking money out of your pocket by doing that, okay? So just step number 1, please burn this into your mind. When you get an offer, this is the first time that a company is showing its hand. This is the first time that you have real leverage in the situation. They're saying, we want you. You are the best one, and we've invested thousands of dollars in finding you the right candidate, and we want you to come on board. So don't flub it, and never ever take that first offer, okay? This is just a general umbrella that I want you to just hold close to your heart. You will never be taking that first offer, ever, and they don't expect you to. So let's go on to some of these tips, okay? Some of these situations. Number 1, what do you do if you know that your range, you know, what you should be making at your level is significantly higher than what you've been making at the company that you've been working for? A lot of times, the longer you stay at a particular company, and you start getting underpaid, that's a track that gets worse and worse as the years go on. So when you're at that stage of looking for a new position, you're really playing at a disadvantage. So if you're really making an unduly low salary based on the target range for other professionals in your industry, you've got to address it. The worst mistake you can make is just ignoring it and going through the hiring process, because I promise you 10 times out of 10, 100 times out of 100, you are going to get lowballed. You will. So you've got to broach it. And what I would do is figure out what the target range is, and then when you're in the offer stage, reveal it in a way that makes it clear that this gap is there, but now it's over. In other words, I know that people in my industry at this level are making in the $175,000 to $200,000 range. I am making 168. And that's been because of some lean years with my employer when there was a pay freeze across the board, across the organization. However, based on the value that I've developed and that I'm bringing to this table, I expect to be paid at fair market value going forward. All right, those are the magic words here. Fair market value. This is not about you being greedy. This is not about you trying to stick it to your next employer because you got passed over a little bit at your last one. No. This is about fairness. This is about fairness. And this is about knowing the fact that companies, they don't care as much as you think about getting a deal. If someone is bringing massive value to the table and they're the right fit for the organization, they are worth more. They are worth more because it's expensive to find a new person. It's expensive to have to extensively train someone for 8 months that would take someone 2 months to get up to speed on. So don't worry about that, okay? You're not the deal candidate here. You're the best candidate here. So if you're getting paid low, you got to broach it in that way. You got to say, I'm making this. I know that the range is this, and this is why, and I expect to be paid at fair market value moving forward. So situation number 2. What if it's the opposite and you're currently making more than what the position that you're going after or what their expected range is, right? And you get hit with this. Again, doing research is key here. You got to know what the matchup is and you got to be, effective about that. So payscale.com, glassdoor.com, talking to people in the industry is the best resource. Figure out what those numbers are before you do any of this. But say you're earning more, right? The thing that you've got to do in that situation, if you know going in that it's going to be a little bit of a fight, number one, the first choice is it worth it? Is the position that you're going for worth really fighting uphill just to sort of stay at par or maybe make a little bit more? Or are you targeting the wrong thing? It depends on where you're at in your life. It depends on how big of a piece it is. Of course, money is huge for all of us. None of us are altruists here. We need to make a decent living for the things that we need to do. So if that's the case, and you've still decided, yes, it's going to be a fight, but I want to make this transition because it's the best move for me, career long term, then what you've got to do is you've got to delay any talk about salary as long as possible into the hiring process. You need to establish your value and your worth way, way, way beyond reproach to the point where they are so sold on you before that happens. And if people start talking about money too early, you can just shut it down and you can say, is this an offer? Are we talking an offer here? And in most cases, it's not going to be. So it's going to shut it down, and you're back to having a more productive conversation about the massive value they bring to the table, about all of the things that you're going to be doing to move the company's fortunes forward and ultimately secure gains, 10 or 100 times more than what they're going to be paying you. If you're forced to give some kind of a range, broach it in the most general terms, like, I'm looking for something in the $125,000 range, or something in the $150,000 or $250,000 range. Huge number, not general. Don't specify. Don't get pushed into specify, and have a little bit of backbone here because you're going to need a little bit of guts if you're going to be doing this. It is a fight. It is a negotiation. We do it all in offices and all of that, but it's a fight. So be prepared for that. And stall that salary conversation as far into it as possible, and you're going to maximize the chances of a good sort of fight outcome there. Finally, last one, and who wouldn't want to be in this position, I think? What if you've simultaneously got 2 offers from 2 different employers? Certainly you want to be negotiating both offers simultaneously, but what I would recommend is take the hard line on the position that you're less interested in. The one that you have less to lose, the one that you can walk away from more, is always going to be the one where you're going to have a stronger bargaining position. So what I would do there is that's the one that you should hit for salary for everything it has. Just hit it hard. Shoot for the moon, get the largest possible increase that you can, and then use that as a way to bolster the offer from employer number one, the one where you really want to end up with. So that's what I would do. Certainly you're negotiating both, but I would really, there's a lot of ways to negotiate. You can negotiate the salary, the compensation, one-time payouts and stuff, but you can also negotiate perks and all of that. So what I'm saying is, for the position that you're less interested in, you're less open to discussing any of the additional stuff beyond compensation. It's all about compensation there, getting that offer up way, because you know that you can walk away from that, so use that. Finally, one last little tip. If you're working with your recruiter, please be honest and upfront with them about the salary issue. If you know that there's no way that you're going to accept a salary, right, that's not at X, then let them know. And in a lot of cases, they can do a lot more for you, or they can make it easier than you can, because if you're raising it with them and, they spread the message to employers, you're not directly doing it, so that you're not directly going to be on the hook if they refuse, and you have an advocate who's kind of pushing it forward. So don't hide it from them, don't blindside them. If you know that it's important, stand up for it, and as I did not do as a kid, hold on to your baseball cards, all right? You've earned them, you've earned these offers, you've earned this whole amazing success trajectory that you're on, so be proud with it and fight and get what you deserve. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for listening. I invite you to join my private mailing list at upgradeyourjob.com. You'll get access to my 6-point checklist for landing a 6-figure job, and you'll get once a week notices from me of really great strategies like this and insights that you can use right now to better where you're at and get where you're going that much faster. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you guys soon.